Today I decided to show you how to make delicious New England lobster roll. I got 2 lobsters here, so I'm gonna do 2 different ways. I'm gonna do one smoked, one traditional, so let's get right to it. Now in New England, we have 2 different styles of lobster rolls. One is a Connecticut style, which is warm lobster meat served in a roll with a lot of melted butter, and that's really it. The other style is a Maine style, which is like a lobster salad roll. It is chilled lobster meat mixed with some mayo, lemon, celery, whatever you really want to put in there, and that's served up cold on a New England style hot dog roll. So I'm a fan of the Maine style, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. What I want to do to smoke this lobster, I'm just going to boil it for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to pull it out and let the claws boil for another 2 minutes or so. I'm just doing that because I want everything to cook evenly, and then once it's done partially cooking, I'm going to pull it out, put it in an ice bath to cool off. I'm going to cut this guy right in half, and then I'm going to throw it on my smoker until the meat is done and fully cooked. So enough talking about it, let's get to cooking. And what I like to do with these lobsters, you can take them and just throw them in the boiling water if you want. That'll do it. But what I like to do, I prefer to just dispatch this lobster before I put it in the boiling water. And to do that, you want to just take your knife right at the top of the head here. You'll see a line. Just go ahead, right through the head, down in one fast motion. Get this guy dispatched. It's not the funnest thing to do, but it needs to be done. If you don't prefer to do it, go ahead and just throw this guy in the boiling water. But like I said, I prefer to dispatch these before they go in the boiling water. So I'm gonna do that now. I'm not gonna put it on the video, so I'll see you when it's done. Now that that is done, I've got a pot outside boiling with some salted water. Get this thing up to a nice rolling boil, then go ahead and throw this guy in for about 2 or 3 minutes. All right, so like I said, I threw this in the boiling water whole, let it go for about 2 minutes. After that, I pulled it out and I let just the claws cook in that boiling water for another 2 minutes. I just want to make sure that this claw meat is cooked thoroughly enough, because when I cut it in half, this tail meat's going to cook pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and get this prepped for the smoker. So now what I want to do is just cut this guy right in half. All right, now you can see there's a bunch of nasty stuff in here. Now what I like to do is just go ahead with a paper towel, clean out all this crap, get all this gunk out of here. I know it's nasty. I know this is a total mess, but this is going to be delicious. So I got the 2 lobster halves just like this. Let's go ahead and get these out on the smoker. All right, smoker's up to 250 degrees. Let's go ahead and get these lobsters on. Just like that. Looking good. All right, there we go. Just get these in, let them smoke. I don't think it's going to take very long, maybe 15-20 minutes, we'll see. I'm going to go by temperature in the tail meat, and we're looking for 140 degrees. Now in the meantime, while that lobster's smoking, I went ahead and I boiled the second lobster that I'm going to use just for the traditional lobster roll, and we're going to compare these at the end. Very easy to do the traditional lobster. Same thing, get your pot to a rolling boil, throw your lobster in there. About 6 to 7 minutes is what you're looking for. Then once it was done cooking, I pulled it out, stuck it in an ice bath to cool off. So once the lobster on the smoker's done, I'm gonna pull it off, let it chill for a while, then I'll bring both lobsters out here, we'll pull the meat apart, and we'll start making some delicious lobster rolls. So I'll see you then. All right, so the lobster is cooked, it's chilled, we're ready to get the meat off it, but before we get into the lobster, I wanna make the dressing that we're gonna put over this lobster. So to make the dressing for this lobster salad that's gonna go on these delicious lobster rolls, what you're gonna need is some celery, a little bit of parsley, some green onion, lemon, salt, pepper, your favorite hot sauce, and of course, mayo. Let's get these chopped up and we'll start making this dressing. All right, so we're gonna start off with our green onions, get rid of the ends. And for this, you're just gonna want the nice green part here. You're not gonna want the white part down here. So we'll go ahead and just chop some of this up. So that looks pretty good to me right there. All right, next we're gonna chop up some celery here. You're gonna wanna finely dice this. So what I like to do is just cut this into strips. Don't cut it all the way through, so it'll stay together a little bit. Do that to both pieces, just like that. And go ahead, just give this a nice chop. There we go, looks pretty good. Then I like to go through and just give it a nice little dice as well. I like the celery to be very finely chopped for a lobster roll. You don't really want to notice it too much. You want a little bit of crunch in there, but you don't want big pieces. So So go ahead and just chop that up nice like that. Next, get yourself a little bit of parsley here and just dice this up, chop it up real fine. It's not the easiest thing to cut up, but just do your best. You want a really fine chop on this parsley. Just go ahead and give this a few chops through. Like I said, you want this really nice and fine. Should be good like that. Get our lemon, cut this in half. Let's go ahead and squeeze our lemon juice in here. You're gonna want the juice of 1 lemon. Now let's get the rest of our liquids in there. All right, so going with a couple dashes of your favorite hot sauce. Now go in with about 1/3 of a cup of mayonnaise. Now a little freshly ground black pepper. Much as you like, I really like a nice peppery lobster roll. And just a touch of salt. That should be it. Then just go ahead, give this a nice mix. Smells fantastic. And there you have it, a beautiful dressing for our lobster roll. And speaking of the lobster, let's get it. We'll get this meat apart and we'll make us some delicious lobster rolls. All right, so here is our beautiful boiled lobster. Here is our smoked lobster. It's got some good smoke flavor on there. I can smell it, so I'm pretty excited to give this a try. But let's get into this lobster, and I'm gonna show you my method to getting the meat out of here. So the first thing I like to do, take these claws off, grab it down near the body, give it a twist, just like that. Then you're gonna wanna get the tail, just grab it right near the body, give it a twist, go ahead and pull it out like that. So I will not be using anything out of the head. The best option for this is if you want to make a seafood stock, throw this in there. It'll be absolutely delicious. So what I like to do is break the claw from the knuckle. Then on these claws, pull this bottom part, get that out of there. Do the same thing to this one. Pull it out. Go ahead, take these, put it on the claw, give it a crack, then just peel it off, push the meat out. And there you go, beautiful lobster meat. So if you don't have these crackers around, get yourself a nice knife, get on the back heavy end, just give this claw a nice hit, crack it like that, and go ahead and pull the meat out like so. Now the knuckles have some awesome meat in them. Go ahead and give these a crack, and just peel the shell. Then you can just push it out, and that's some knuckle meat. All right, now we're on the tail. So what I like to do is just grab the bottom here. Oh, got a squirter. Go ahead and peel that tail fin off. Go ahead, just take your finger in the bottom like so, and just push that meat right out of the tail like that. Now what I like to do with this tail meat, go ahead, just cut it right in half. That way you can look at the inside and you can see there's a little bit of entrails in here. Get that crap out of there. Not good. Do the same thing to the other side, make sure it's nice and clean. But check out that beautiful lobster tail meat. All right, so now that I got this lobster meat from the regular steamed lobster, let's go ahead and get our smoked lobster. Pull these claws off. And then the tail meat on this, since we cut it in half, pull that right out of there. Got a nice piece of tail meat. You can see the little tint of smoke we got on there. And then these claws are gonna be the same thing as the other ones. Nothing special here. So I'll just break these apart and get all this meat out of here. All right, all cleaned up. Let's get these lobster rolls assembled. We're gonna start off with our traditional style lobster. This was just boiled. Get our chunks of meat down here. All right, so we're just gonna wanna chunk this up a little bit, something like that. It's kind of the size you're looking for. Depends what you like. I like a real nice chunky lobster roll. You'll notice that the tail is a little more firm than the rest of the meat. Claws are a lot more tender. That's what's gonna give this a nice little texture. The claw meat, this is the best stuff, guys, right here, claw meat. And there we go. Now let's get that smoked lobster meat going here. And the claws will not have that much smoke flavor. It's gonna be really just the tail we're getting that smoky flavor from. Same thing, let's chop this up nicely. And the tail meat on this seems to be a little more tender, surprisingly. There we go. All right, let's get this out of the way. Get our lobster meat back. Now we'll get that dressing we made earlier for this. Put a couple nice scoops inside each of these. Just split it up between the two batches. It's my plan. Now let's go ahead, just mix this up. Just look at this. This is going to be some delicious lobster. Not sure if the smoke's gonna make much of a difference, but we will see. All right, there we go. Very important thing with a lobster roll is the roll. You're gonna wanna look for one of these New England style rolls. So what you're gonna wanna do, you can either spread butter on each side here or just get a pan with butter and just sear it on both sides. And then you're gonna end up with something like this. A beautiful butter seared New England style hot dog roll, still nice and soft in the middle. This is what you want for a lobster roll, guys. This is traditional. So let's go ahead, get these two rolls down here and we will fill them up. We're gonna wanna load this up with some lobster here. So we'll start with the smoked. Just go ahead, dump this in here. Oh yeah. Does that look good or what? Oh my, oh my. Now let's get our traditional. And again, you want this thing overflowing. And that is that. These lobster rolls are finished. They look and smell fantastic. I'm ready to give them a try, so let's get right to it. Let's get this traditional one, give this thing a try, huh? Yep. Fantastic. That butter toasted bun is so good. It's super soft in the middle, but it's nice and crusty on the outside. It's absolutely delicious. Then the mayo is nice and creamy. The lemon has a beautiful zest to it. And I really like the crunch of the celery. It breaks it up a little bit because you got that soft meat and everything and the soft bread. You need a little crunch in there. Man, that is delicious. But let me give the smoked one a try. See how this thing came out, huh? All right. Hope it's as good as the other one. Wow, that is good. That is good. Super tender meat. I don't know why this one's a little more tender than the other one. I thought it would be more dry than this one. Then it's got all the same great flavors as this traditional one, but there's just something else. And if you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to put your finger on it. Now, lobster meat is already pretty sweet as it is, but the smoky flavor on this gives it a little extra subtle sweetness and a little extra flavor that you wouldn't get in a regular lobster roll. I expected it to be good, but I didn't think it was gonna be worth it to go through all the effort of partially cooking it, cutting it in half, putting it on the smoker, all for that. But I gotta say it's worth it, guys. It's another win in my book. Smoked lobster rolls. Give it a try. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. And if you're a new viewer to the channel, make sure to subscribe right over here. If you wanna see another awesome barbecue video, check this one out over here. Thanks again for watching, guys, and get out there and smoke something good.